In this here video, we got Judge Joe Brown laying it all out raw about this whole Diddy situation. He gonna break down what we really need to expect when that sentencing come around. Y'all feel me? And he ain't just talking wild. He bringing that real legal history, digging deep into that old school Mann Act, showing how it all tie in. Plus, he gonna let us know why this case even popped off in the first place. So if you wanna know what's really going on behind all the lights and headlines, don't skip nothing. Hit that like, hit that sub, and let's get into it, man. Stay woke and stay tapped in. Let's ride.
See, if it was fair, everybody involved in that would have their law licenses stripped. Yes, that's highly unethical. I've said many times, one of the most corrupt, unprincipled bunch of scoundrels you can find are career prosecutors. Not all of them, but too many of them. There's nothing wrong with being a prosecutor, but if you spend your entire legal career doing nothing but that, something's wrong with you as a human being. And they are corrupt. And that's one of the reasons that the system does not work. It's got nothing to do with how much money you have. It's got to do with just exactly what you said. We want to win, so to hell with justice and equity and fundamental fairness. We're going to manipulate this so we can win. Because what Cassie did is revealed by that. She solicited, she procured, she facilitated, she aided and abetted. She was as guilty of anything that they found Diddy guilty of as he was. Whole thing about her getting beaten, that was domestic violence in one sense, and it was the typical pimp game in another. And every time you look at P-Valley, Beautiful Black, or any of this thing where we glorify this pimping stuff, and the young folk talking about, man, it's about pimping. That's what you're really referring to with the game. It's brutal, it's violent, and it's got to do with some males who have a lack of masculinity. If you listen to the evidence, she actually is more an accessory, an accomplice, a collaborator. And when she filed that civil suit, the Biden-Harris administration said, we've got a way to protect Miss Harris Imhoff and her ilk. We can go get her, threaten to prosecute her, unless she will be a witness for us so we can get him the hell out of the way so he doesn't embarrass our side. This is what's going on. Like I said, less than 2% of the people that are in the federal penitentiaries, state penitentiaries, got found guilty by a jury. 97% plus pled guilty. So a whole lot of what you hear coming out from the inmates that need hope is just because they punked out and they did not have the nerve to go to trial. They were scared. So sometimes when I go at length, I'm not trying to just be obnoxious about it. It's hard to explain simply. It's like a chess game too. How do you sit there and explain to somebody, this guy is really good at chess? You're playing here looking at what's on the board right in front of you, and he's trying to set you up for 6 moves in advance so he can get you. So he's looking at something you aren't looking, and you want me to explain the difference between what you're doing and what he's doing.
Combs was convicted on the 2 prostitution-related offenses. He was denied bail and now awaits sentencing in jail. That is set for October.
That's a travesty, the denial of bail. And otherwise, to remember me pontificating about the evils of proof of other crimes, that's what they did. It had nothing to do with what he was convicted of. Not one thing. But they showed it trying to inflame the jury and influence public opinion. That's not what American justice is supposed to be about. But this wasn't the case for money, because who had the money? The defendant. Now, somebody that also made the news, Wesley Snipes, a personal friend of mine, who I think had incompetent counsel representing him. Judge went off on lawyers for his defense for not doing their job. He, because of their inadequacies, and he had a lot of money, remember. He's a well-off Hollywood celebrity. He got 1 year per failure to file a complete set of documents, 3 counts, and they ran consecutive, running wild because his lawyers didn't know what the hell to do. Now, you see the difference? That's not fair, but it's not for the obvious reasons. In one case, there is politics involved. For what you have with the Mann Act, he's already probably got a time-served situation. The first person they went after that was the initial target for all of this, Jack Johnson, got 1 year when he was convicted. He got more than that for escaping. What are we doing here? We prosecute Diddy, a celebrity, a billionaire who's not supposed to be anything except a hood rat thug with no money, which defeats the representations of what we just saw on the tape where it's all about money. It's not, because remember, this is somebody with a billionaire status. So he's getting jacked around because of what he knows or what he recorded or who he can expose. And that has absolutely nothing to do with what the person was talking about. Justifies everything, and it's not fair. It's not fair, period, because nothing in the world is fundamentally fair. What they did is the original Mann Act says simply transporting females across state lines or international borders for illicit purposes. That was 115 years ago they came up with that. So what the devil do you mean by illicit purposes? Well, some decades ago, they attempted to amend the act and they said for purposes of prostitution, which as they defined it, is engaging in sexual activity for money or economic gain. The judge has the option of setting the motion for new trial first or the sentencing hearing first. The October date for the sentencing hearing is predicated on the motion for new trial coming first. Sometimes the judge will do the defense the favor of sentencing somebody before they get to the motion for new trial so everybody understands what's at stake. Now, that is what they're essentially doing. They have to have the pre-sentence report in. That's always the case. So there's no way around it. And yeah, you can expedite the matter. So that's what you're looking at. It's just routine procedure. It's no big thing.
You heard it straight from the judge's mouth. Real talk, no cut. Big salute to Judge Joe Brown, a real one and a national treasure. He dropped that OG knowledge, broke it all the way down, and didn't hold nothing back. Mad love to the real Dana too. This footage came straight off her channel, so make sure you slide over there and peep the full video in its entirety. Now Judge said it plain. This whole thing looking funny. Diddy getting targeted, not just for what he did, but to cover up for somebody else with more juice. He said based on how the Mann Act been used back in the Jack Johnson days, Diddy really should be getting time served. But y'all remember how they did Wesley Snipes. Petty charges, big punishment, so it's up in the air, real talk. So now, all we can do is watch, wait, and pray justice gets served right, not served cold. Drop a comment, let me know what y'all think. Was this a setup, or is Diddy finally facing the fire? Hit that like, smash that sub, and we gonna keep bringing that raw truth. Stay woke, stay dangerous. 1.
Be authentic, be awesome.